Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the first of the two duels for qualifying for Daytona. It's going to be a 20-lap affair here along the high banks as we get set to see who will make it into the Daytona 500 and who will not be joining the 40-car field. 42 total entries for the race. However, of course, with it being the split two duels, 21 cars in each race, and these are the 21 drivers competing here today. Of course, we got Ian Wallace already safe from elimination. Not just because of the fact that he will start on pole for the Daytona 500, irregardless of what happens in this race today, but also because he was in the top 25 in owners points at the end of last year, as was Alana Kiro, Jacob Craigo, Tyler Blade Runner, Ryan Vaughn, Roberto Crown Jr. Through a point swap, Amy Walsh, Jensen Nomina, Sean English, and Calvin Richards. Those are the drivers who are guaranteed, at least for these 21 drivers, to make the Daytona 500 field. Of course, with those being the only 10 drivers, that means the other 11 will have to race their way in. And of course, with there being 11 drivers having to race their way in this field, that does not mean any of these drivers are safe. I mean, you could still finish, mid pack, have a decent run, but still not make the Daytona 500 because you had plenty of guys finish ahead of you who are part of the go or go home class. Of course, that includes part timers like Fred McRiley, Jackson McFreeze, and whatnot. But you also got full time drivers, Ray Takita, Echoes Evans Ross, Steffi Plaxco, uh, Theodore Cox, Harold LaGranger, RJ Bishop down there on last even. Is where he's starting. He's not safe from elimination here. But without further ado, who will qualify for the 500? Who will be watching the race from home? As the field gets onto the track. And rounds turn number 4. If I haven't mentioned it already, might have, but 20 laps for this event. Side by side, pace car dives off. Into the Geico restart zone we go. Green flag is out. We are underway for duel number 1 at Daytona. Ian Wallace goes to the outside early on with the jump, but here comes Craigo now. With a push from McRiley to get into the lead. However, Craigo now drifts up to the high line, which allows McRiley to get into the inside line. And he's going to go ahead and pass Craigo with a push from McFreeze behind him. Then you got the 37 of Crown Jr. there, third on the inside lane. Now second in the inside lane as McRiley moves up. McRiley will lead lap 1. McFreeze, however, will lead the charge down into turn 1. As now Crown Jr. monkey in the middle as it's 3 wide for second with Theodore Cox on the inside. Ryan Vaughn there pushing the number 15. Now it's multiple rows of 3 as the field charges down the back straightaway. Further in the back, it looks like Ray Takita and Erica Reinhardt have fallen to the tail end of the field. Theodore Cox will lead lap number 2. This field runs through 1 and 2. Much tighter racing than we saw last year already. As this time 1 year ago, we were seeing only single file racing, as now Theodore Cox having to block 3 lanes of traffic and is actually able to still continue leading through 3 and 4. As Vaughn and Crown Jr. are now side by side for a second. Ooh, but it looks like Granger's going to take a peek underneath the 2. That's going to give Crown Jr. some breathing room as Theodore Cox continues to lead. And despite having early issues with drifting to the back, Reinhardt and Takeda both able to keep up with the field and not lose the draft. Working our way to complete lap 4, already a fifth of the way done through this race. Now it's Fedor Keen now looking to the inside of the 15 as we enter turn 1. Sean English has worked his way up to be side by side for now second place as I speak. With a push from RJ Bishop, who again started last in this race. So already worked his way to the front. RJ Bishop, of course, a former winner of the Daytona 500 back in, I want to say, 2019. Now side by side for the lead as Sean English in that Ken Block tribute Alpine Stars scheme. Leads them down off of turn number 4, but will he lead the lap is the question. And the answer is yes. RJ Bishop, though, to the inside with a push from Calvin Richards and Jensen Nomino right behind. Ooh, I believe they were briefly 4 wide. Maybe, maybe not. Kind of hard to tell with some of these camera angles sometimes. As the field flashes by, apparently a floating camera. I forgot to fix that prior to the start of this race, but oh well. RJ Bishop continues to lead. However, here comes Jensen Nomino with a push from his team owner, Jake Crago. Along the inside, and it looks like the 7 of Lana Kiro there as well as Jensen Nomina now moves up. I do not know who led that lap. Ooh, by 2/1000ths a second, it was RJ Bishop. Now Crago making it 3 wide for the lead. Kiro behind him, along with Walsh behind her. Tieta having not made any moves up through the field since I last mentioned her, but you do see the 81 there, 4th car on the inside lane, moving up through the field. As now looks like Alana Kiro going 3 wide with Crago and Nomina. Crago leads the lap. And I believe going into turn 1, Crago will be ahead just ever so slightly. But of course, that inside lane so dominant at the super speedways. Of course, with this next-gen car, people were wondering, how was it going to race? How was the handling going to be? Well, we're seeing a taste of it right now. Everybody within a blanket. No car outside of, I believe, a full half second. As we'll see that by the time the ticker rolls around. And no, everybody is within 0.8 of each other. I believe Crago led that lap too. He definitely would have led the lap because he's pulled out a little bit from the field, but that's not necessarily an advantage. That can be very much disadvantages to one person. It looks like Echo Evan Ross now pulling to the inside, going to try to make a run for the lead going into turn 3. Driving that famed number 43 Parsley Enterprises Dodge. as Ian Wallace thought about trying to make a move to the inside of Crago, but Calvin Richards was able to pull the trigger faster and make a move to the inside of Wallace, making it 3 wide for second as Wallace still tries to make a move on Crago. Evans Ross leads the lap. Richards up to second. And now it looks like Richards might be the leader here as Evans Ross cannot block that run in time. Although Richards does back out, allowing Evans Ross to retain the lead for now. Plaxco was right behind the 83 as Richards moves up to that center lane. Walsh right behind him now, and here comes Plaxco with a push from Reinhardt as they run through 3 and 4. Halfway this time by. I just realized I forgot to change the ticker to say the Clash, or from the Clash at North Wilkes-Barre to the Twin Duels at Daytona. I'll fix that for duel number 2. Anyways, Plaxco now going for the lead. Reminder, these are both open cars and whatnot. They are not guaranteed to start in the Daytona 500. Although finishing as far up as they are definitely will help, especially with as many open cars as there are in this field. Richards now side by side with Echo for second. And might look to take the lead here as they come down the tri-oval to complete lap 11. Blade Runner now making a move towards the front with a push from McRiley, who I believe has Robert Dobbs behind him. Yep, that would be Robert Dobbs in the 38. 3 wide for third now. They run through the turns 1 and 2 for the 12th time today. Down the back straightaway and towards turn 3. McRiley in a position to try and take second in a 3 wide move here. And will, convincingly, then moves up. There might have been a run from the 43 there. Able to cover that. Now dives back to the bottom to cover the 38, but hard to tell from this angle if the 38 had a run as well. 38 definitely has a run now, but looks like the 95 able to hold off for now. Ryan Vaughn making a charge back up towards the front. He also started towards the back of the field here. Of course, Ford's historically so strong here as we now see McRiley making a move to the front. Of course, this team making a part-time run for the 2023 season, as is the 14 car further back in the field. 38 car full-time organization, with Mercedes opening up a factory team to compete in the Cup Series alongside McLaren moving to Mercedes, and of course, as we mentioned in the Clash, Queen City Racing moving to Mercedes as well. Side by side for the lead. Now it's Dobbs on the inside, McRiley on the outside. Dobbs getting the push from an 83 Richards, who's getting pushed from the 43 of Evans Ross. Ooh, and Dobbs not able to block the run from the 83 in time. And now here comes Richards now, trying to get to the lead. Formula 3 champion trying to make a name for himself here. So we are completing lap 15 of 20. And what was once 3 wide racing throughout the entire field is slowly simmered down to 2 wide racing through at least the front of the pack here. Most of the open cars running up near the front. Down and back straight away they go. Already 3/4 of the way done with this race. Laps don't go by quickly here, but the time it does get eaten up before you know it. That made no sense. I'm way out of practice for commentary. Oh well. McRiley continues to lead. Echo Evans Ross now trying to take it, but at the same time, Theodore Cox making it a three-way fight with Dodge versus Dodge versus Dodge. Of course, you have a fourth Dodge in the mix there as well as teammates hooked up on the inside lane. That is Theodore Cox with team owner RJ Bishop right behind, and Evans Ross can't quite get in front of the 15 through 3 and 4. Ooh, they are 4 wide through the tri-oval as we complete lap 17? Maybe 18? No, we're on lap 17. All right. Still 4 wide as we go through turns 1 and 2. Oh, so close as they come off of turn number 2. Thankfully, everyone keeping off of each other, not wrecking. And of course, as I say that, Calvin Richard gets turned. Wreck in the middle of the back straightaway. Richards involved. Dobbs involved. 37. Theodore Keene also turned. That is not what you want to see. Looks like everyone is going to be able to drive away. Many drivers affected by this, and this is, of course, going to end the race. With as late as we are into it, 2 to go at the line. And it looks like McFreeze was able to edge out RJ Bishop. So McFreeze going to be starting third in the Daytona 500 potentially here. Amy Walsh in third, Sean English fourth, Monicuro in fifth. I don't know if I can even say commentators curse with that. Cars don't look too damaged. We're going to have to take another look at that real quick. So this is coming off of turn number 2. And yeah, contact there between English and Richards sends Richards up into Echo Evans Ross. They both get into the wall. Richards goes around, collects Theodore Keene. Meanwhile, behind them, contact between Roberto Crown Jr. and Fred McRiley turns the 95 around. Looks like Nomina gets a piece of it as well. Everybody trying to scramble to not get involved. I believe the 02, Takeda got a little piece of damage there. So we are on the final lap now. I did not want to do that.